Welcome, everybody. Today, our guest is a great professional, Brendan Fitzpatrick, a management consultant, coach, and mentor. And Brendan, if you'd be so kind to tell more about what you do before we start, because there's so many interesting things in it.
Okay, Kristof, delighted to be with you this afternoon. I've had so many different elements to my career. It's actually, I think I've lived a few different lives. I suppose for most of my career, I worked in global supply chain operations within the pharmaceutical medical device sector. And I was made redundant during the last recession, if you can remember the last recession. And really it was sort of a crossroads, and I had to move on from then. So what to do? There wasn't really much work out there, to be honest. I was just had turned the wrong side of 50. And it was difficult to find work. So I was pretty much, although this is a passion of mine now, I was forced into starting my own business and self-employment. It wasn't a choice. I never had any great aspirations to do with doing it, but I was forced in, and I started off as a management consultant and started my own consultancy practice. And I'm a member of the Institute of Management Consultants and Advisors, IMCA, and that has been a really great success. And it's based on the bread and butter stuff I would have always known in terms of actually business improvement, helping companies to grow and expand, and providing mentoring and also training as part of that process. But in having gone on that particular journey, I discovered that I learned an awful lot about new business startup and entrepreneurship. And I also done a course in UCD, and I'm a postgraduate in innovation and entrepreneurship and enterprise from that course. And that sort of really awakened the whole entrepreneurial part and innovation part of my mindset. And I saw new business startup as a great opportunity, not just for people that were interested in that type of thing, but also an option for people that maybe couldn't find a job or career that they wanted. Maybe starting their own business was an option. And one thing I always say is that there's another similarity and commonality between finding a job and finding a client. You're using the same skills. Somebody has a problem and you're trying to be the solution. And they're very, very similar. And anybody looking for a job, keep that in mind. They have a problem and you're trying to be the solution. And that's what you're trying to let them know what value you can bring to the particular role or opening that they have. So when I started my first business, which was Global Supply Chain Solutions, very soon after I started a second business that was running in parallel, which was Startup Journey. So one was the bread and butter stuff that I've always done on a consultancy level this time. And the other one was actually to help people to start a business. Primarily people that had never started a business before and had no real experience in that field. And then once they started, the next part of the process was to help them to grow the business. And this has been really, really rewarding, and I really enjoy this. And it sort of evolved also into helping people to actually find the job they really want, to completely transition their career and start something completely new. And that's actually very common. Somebody, for example, that may have been a banker all their lives, suddenly were made redundant, but they don't want to be a banker anymore. They want to do something completely different. So how do you make that change? So we worked on that also. And of course, as part of that whole process, I looked at self-employment. So Startup Journey included self-employment, transitioning your career, finding a job. And the thing that really attracted me to that, Kristof, was you're making a difference to people's lives. And that sounds like a cliche, but it's actually very, very true. There's nothing as more rewarding than making the difference to somebody's life. I mean, the bread and butter stuff that I do in the consultancy, it's for multinationals, it's big business, it's corporate, it's there's people involved in the process. But the other business that I started up, somebody who finds a job or changes their career or excels in a job or starts a business, that makes a huge difference to them personally. And most of these are not starting a business or finding a job because they're trying to be multi-millionaires or go on the NASDAQ. They're just trying to be self-sufficient and get their self-esteem and provide for themselves. And that makes a huge difference. And that's a real motivating factor for me on that end of things. And that's actually evolved into now Restart Journey, because Startup Journey sort of implies it's a startup situation. for startup companies. But Restart Journey, which we're really excited about at the moment, this is for people that are already on the journey, or they could be starting their journey, but most of them are restarting their journey. So if there's an interruption because of redundancy, because of illness, and they need to start again, how did they restart again? How did they get a job if they're unemployed? How did they completely change their career if they've always worked in a niche area and that's now gone? How did they completely transition? Or how did they look at being self-employed and actually providing for themselves? And there's all really exciting ways that they can do that, and that's something I really enjoy doing. And that's a really great passion of mine, to be honest. So I suppose overall, I'm a management consultant, I'm a coach, I'm a mentor. And in some cases, I'm all three in the one situation, depending on who the client happens to be.
Perfect, Brendan. I'm so happy to hear that, we can recognize that change and help you actually provide to others is when you see this, what we mentioned before, when you see this change, this result, a positive result you bring to others in others' life, is actually great, rewarding, a motivation to develop your business, to put more energy on it, and to give better and better service. Because of course, career coaching is something that, and mentoring, something that we have in common. And I'm so happy that you are here today, because I want to touch a few of those things, especially when we talk about career and mentoring.
Well, what did you think about this video? Feel free to join our LinkedIn group and comment below the video. Hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you.